The third definition about game balance, which I prefer, is that both players have the impression, the feeling that the amount of meaningful choices they can make is equally. What do I mean by this? Let's think about an example from politics. Imagine you would live in a state where you could only vote for one party. This would not be a meaningful choice. Imagine there were two parties, but both parties would do the same and are very much the same. Your choice would be even not so meaningful. So this can be applied to games too. Age of Sigmar offers a lot of freedom. You can decide what to play and how many figures you want to play. That is one of his strengths. But the strength comes at a price. And this is because of the high degree of freedom, some choices lose their meaning. It's not very meaningful if I deploy 20 high-elf experiments or 30 high-elf experiments. In early editions, you have to calculate it, how many points they have, and so on, and this could make a big difference. I can now decide, well, I would like to play 30. Maybe my opponent says, oh no, please, only play 20. Okay. But because everything goes, some choices are quite meaningful, not so meaningful anymore. But a meaningful decision can have different meanings, what meaningful is for you. I will explain this in another video about what makes a game a fun game. I say meaningful decisions make a game a fun game, whatever you personally find meaningful. So the third definition would be both players agree that have the feeling that they have an equal amount of meaningful decisions to choose from. Age of Sigmar has some problems with that. Imagine that you field up Nagash or any other super epic hero, and your opponent has to think about what he can do about this. This will make many of his choices meaningless, because they will not change the outcome of the game, for example. And this is a problem. Problem I see. If you decide others, it's good. A solution could be a point value system. Point value system that is dynamic or can be used dynamic in the way that you deploy your unit as always, but instead of counting models, you count point value systems, point values. And then you could claim that there's victory conditions if you have a lower point value than your opponent. Let's say you have 100 points, your opponent had 130, and so on, and can talk about rules, how much he can go over, above 130%, perhaps up to 150 or even 200%. But some limitations must be there to freedom, or you will lose meaning on the other end of choices. Yeah? This might lead to a game where everybody brings whatever figure he owns to the table, and the player who has spent the most money will have the most figures and most likely will dominate the game and win the game. It's not bad to lose a game, but if the other player dominates the game, this can greatly reduce the fun of the game. So, is Age of Sigmar balanced? By definition 1, symmetry? No, there is no symmetry in Age of Sigmar. Definition 2, do two players have the feeling that at the beginning of the game the development outcome is open? Yes, There's very much randomness involved, but also many choices that will lead to one or the other direction. And the third, is there a balance between the amount of meaningful decisions you can make? This heavily depends on how you find an agreement. MC1 Gamer talks about social contract. I find this a very fascinating concept, important concept in gaming and in real life. A point system is a kind of social contract. Yeah. It's a very elaborated, very concrete social contract where you say, okay, this model is worth 7 points, this is 12 points, and so on. And you will have it much easier to find a common sense solution than to sit down with a new player and talk it out. This might work. It might be fun. It might be easier, but sometimes might have problems. The reason why I'm so skeptic is because of psychology. Even if you try very hard to be fair and objective and to be cooperative, sometimes your own psychology will kick in without you recognizing it, and that might be a problem when you say, okay, sit down, let's talk out. More a problem with strangers than with well-known people, friends, and so on, but even there. So I would suggest to look at a point system, community-driven point system that allows us to have fun and balanced game. This is possible, and some balancing is necessary to have fun. Not symmetry, but balance of equal amounts of meaningful choices, in equal starting conditions of some kind, or equal chances of winning or playing your game, not just winning. Okay, this was very hard for me in English. I hope it was not too freaky. Bye.